And with that, we say good evening. Welcome to the Wave Weather Now halftime show. Carson Meredith with you. It is 8:20 on this Super Bowl Sunday night. What a game so far, huh? 24-0 Philly at the break. Obviously, with the game going on, wanted to wait a little bit on our weather update tonight. So while we got a break in the action, let's give you the update on where things stand with our alert day for Tuesday. We're becoming pretty confident now that parts of wave country will see an accumulating snow, and there will be some travel impacts as a result, but there's still some very, very fine details that need to be nailed down. So I caution as we go through our conversation tonight that all of the data that we're going to show you could still be adjusted as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours. All right, let's see who's watching us tonight. We'll kind of go a little rapid fire here since I don't know how long the halftime show is going to go. Kathy says hello from Fredericksburg. Let's see. Appreciate you watching, Kathy. Clayton says hey. Eli says hey. Nancy, snow prediction yet? Yes, that is in our update here in just a few minutes. Kevin says good evening. Tell us the snow won't be too impactful. Well, let's be clear out of the gate tonight that this is not like what we had in January. Not even close, okay? In fact, there are a couple of things working in our favor when it comes to this setup on Tuesday. But let's talk about where things stand at this point. This is still looking like a wintry mix. That does not mean, though, that there will be ice. In fact, I really don't see much of an ice threat right now, except for that rain-snow line. Wherever that boundary is between the rain to the south and the snow to the north, that boundary could have maybe a couple sleet pellets in the mix, but there's no significant ice threat with this system, which is great. More than anything else, this is just rain versus snow. The general thinking is still the same. We're going to have more snow in our northern areas, let's say from Interstate 64 north, and further to the south will start as snow, but eventually go to just a cold, plain rain. That's the general idea of how this is going to play out Tuesday, okay? There will be slick travel conditions, especially Tuesday morning when most of us are still seeing snow. And again, I caution, these finer details still got to be nailed down. But at this stage of the game, it looks as though the area between Interstate 64 and the Kentucky parkways, that, 30, 40-mile zone, that's the area we're watching for, one, where that rain-snow line looks like it's going to wind up, and two, where we'll see the highest snow totals, therefore the greatest impacts on those roads, especially Tuesday morning when that snow is starting to move in, okay? Now let's go through the timeline. We gave you the general overview. Let's go through the day on Tuesday. We'll start things off Tuesday morning. For most of us, it is all snow. This will start while you're sleeping Tuesday morning, 2, 3, 4 a.m. it looks like in general. And that's why the morning commute could be dicey, especially if you live along I-64 or along the Kentucky parkways. That zone is where I really think we'll have the most trouble on those roads Tuesday morning, okay? So we start things off as mostly snow. If you live down in, let's say, Green, Taylor, and Adair County, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys saw more of a wintry mix as opposed to all snow. But most of us are going to start this off as all snow Tuesday morning, okay? That's part one, if you will. Then we get into the midday hours on Tuesday. That's where things get a little interesting and a little tricky too. That rain-snow line will start to progress northward. The question still is, how far north does that rain-snow line go? And how long does it take to see that transition from snow to rain? Those two questions will have a huge say in how much snow we see and who gets the most amount of snow on Tuesday. For now, the further north you are, up towards Interstate 64, even into southern Indiana, the greater the chance that you will stay all snow or mostly snow through this whole thing, morning, afternoon, and evening. The further south you are, south of the Bluegrass Parkway, south of the Western Kentucky Parkway, the more likely you'll see that snow transition to a cold rain. So that's why the snowfall totals are going to be much lower in our southern communities. We'll see that transition begin midday Tuesday, and by midday we mean 10, 11, noon. And then that cold rain settles in our southern communities through the rest of Tuesday afternoon. I see all the comments are blowing up. Don't worry. I'll get to a few questions here in a second. We get into Tuesday evening and late Tuesday night. The precipitation, be it snow or a cold rain, will start to wind down. But with those temperatures still near or possibly just below freezing throughout Tuesday night, even if you don't see much snow, there's still going to be some slick spots. That's when black ice will start to become more of a concern. Tuesday evening past sunset, going into Tuesday night. Again, this is not going to be a huge winter storm at all, guys. Nothing like January. So take comfort in that. It's just the Tuesday morning time frame in particular has me a little concerned because that's when most of us will see snow, and that's when a lot of you are trying to get to work or trying to get to school. And that's why we'll keep the alert day in place. Holy cow, there's so many of you watching. 700 of you just on our social media platforms. We appreciate it. Shonda says, hey, from Jeffersonville. Luke says, good evening. Hope all is well. It is. Thank you. Let's see. Karen's watching us down in Butler County. Shout out to Morgantown, all of my friends down in Butler County. I lived in Bowling Green for 4 years when I went to Western, so Butler County's got a special place in my heart. Todd says, I'm guessing Taylor Swift will not be on your halftime show. No, she will not. If she was, then we'd probably have 100 million people watching our halftime show instead, right? Albert says, hey, from Frankfurt. We appreciate all you guys watching. Let's answer some questions about Tuesday. Joseph says, so no ice, right? I don't want to, for sure, no question about it, say no ice, because I think where that rain-snow band lines up, there could be a little sleet, a little, but I don't think there's going to be enough ice to cause significant issues. If we have road issues, it's going to be because of snow. So I hope that makes sense for you there, Joseph. Good question. Let's see. Everybody's asking about their particular town. How much snow are we going to get? How much are we going to get? Alan's in a good mood. Quit jibber jabbering and giving the weather report. Well, I've been on here for 10 minutes and I've talked all about the weather. So glad you're having a good night, Alan. Appreciate you watching. You're still here. Let's go through Futurecast, shall we? This is 7 o'clock Tuesday morning, and you can see most of us are still seeing that widespread snow, even down in southern Kentucky. Snow also making its way towards I-64. So this is why I'm kind of more concerned about Tuesday morning, because a lot of us are still seeing snow. But you see that rain-snow line trying to make its way into our southern counties as early as 7 a.m. If that timing were to hold, and we see that transition from snow to rain earlier in the morning, that would obviously cut down on snow totals down towards Litchfield, Mumfordville, Campbellsville, Columbia, things like that. So as we go through the rest of the morning, I will say this forecast model that I'm showing you is colder than some of the other models we've been looking at. In other words, that means those of you in central Kentucky under this scenario may see a little more snow than what we are currently forecasting. Why are we forecasting things a little warmer? Because a lot of times in this setup, the models go too cold. And so I'm just kind of showing you a worst case scenario, if you will. Nonetheless, we start to see that rain snow line right there down near Mumfordville, Columbia, try to nudge its way to the north and east. And this is going to decide how much snow you see south of Louisville. But what we're pretty confident about still at this point is this rain snow line that I have circled is not going to make it all the way up to Louisville. So that means for those of you here on the metro, and if you live along Interstate 64, you guys have the best shot to see the highest amounts of snow out of this system. So the further north you are, the better chance you have for snow, for the highest amounts of snow too, okay? Let's keep going. That's around 11 a.m. Here's 4 o'clock. Continuing to see that rain snow line move northward. By this point in the day, it's around the parkways, around Litchfield, E-Town, Lebanon, maybe up towards Bardstown. But I will caution some of those warmer models that I was talking about have the rain snow line getting close to Louisville, but staying just south, maybe around Taylorsville or Shepherdsville, Brandenburg. So again, here in the metro and points north, I really think we're going to stay in all snow throughout this whole thing, or most of it, at least. The zone that we're still a little dicey, a little shaky about is right through here. Litchfield, Lebanon, E-Town, Bardstown. That's where we're not quite as confident in our snowfall forecast at this point, because we have to nail down where does that rain snow line settle. Now, forget the rain snow line for a minute. Look at the temperatures on this map. 35, 34. If that were to hold, the snow will be sticking while it's falling. But as soon as those snowfall rates ease up a little bit, or as soon as that snow turns over to rain south of Louisville, a lot of it could melt pretty quickly. But I know there's a lot of buts in this forecast. You know, as we go through the day, we'll have to watch to make sure that Tuesday morning in particular, when most of the snow is falling, that there's not any slick spots. And that's what I'm concerned about. So while the snow is falling, it's going to stick. All right. Once the snowfall rates ease up, once it's more flurry action, or once the snow goes to rain, that is when it should start to melt just a little bit. So again, this is not going to be a huge winter storm. Okay. Keep going through the evening. Still see that rain snow line settling across central Kentucky, while everybody to the north, including Louisville, is still seeing a good bit of snow, even with those temperatures a degree or two above freezing. So again, it'll still be sticking at this point. Once we get closer to 10 or 11 p.m., the snow rates start to wind down. If the temperatures are still hovering near freezing, some of it will start to melt. So a lot of the accumulations on Tuesday might actually be in the grass. It might be on the rooftops, on your patio, things like that, instead of your driveways or your neighborhood roads, which is, again, a very good thing. What I'm concerned about is while the snow is falling, it could be heavy at times, like you see here Tuesday morning. And the snowfall rates, the heavier snowfall rates can overcome a warmer ground. And that's why we could have some accumulations out of this, especially earlier in the day. Okay. Question time. Let's see. I love that you're sassy to the rude people. Well, I mean, I just like calling people out for being for not being nice. Let's see. So the models show right now Louisville's getting snow most of the day. Which model are we showing here? This is actually kind of our own in-house model. So you're not going to find this forecast model anywhere else except here on Wave. And again, it's been trending cold for a while. It's been one of the colder models that we've had so far out of this. So I think we're all good on the comments. Well, hang on. I just saw one from Carla. Southern Indiana looks like a bust. I wouldn't say a bust, but let's go to the snowfall map because this is what y'all are here for. All right. Most of us along Interstate 64 are going to see a solid 1 to maybe 2 inches of snow. So this would be for places like E-Town, Bardstown, Louisville, Shelbyville, Jeffersonville, Bedford, maybe up towards Carrollton, down towards Corydon, Brandenburg, Hardinsburg. I think a solid 1 to 2 inches of snow is on the table in these areas where we see mostly snow most of Tuesday. Makes sense, right? You see snow all day, you're going to get a little accumulation out of it. What we're going to have to watch is obviously that rain snow line I was talking about, right? Where that band sets up, where that transition is, a lot of times you get a heavier band of snow on the north side of that line. So here's the rain snow line. Right above it, you got a pretty heavy band of snow that could drop a little extra snow than what most of us are seeing. Does that make sense? Right now, if we're going to say that that rain snow line sets up in this general area, then areas just north of that rain snow line in this darker blue shade could very well see some snowfall amounts around 2, 3, maybe even 4 inches in a couple of spots. Now, I would again caution, if you're in that 2 to 4 inch zone on this map, the dark blue color, it'll probably be the lower end of that range, 2 or 3 inches, but that's still enough to cause some travel issues, right? So we're going to watch that potential for a heavier band of 2 to 4 inches of snow for places like E-Town, maybe, Radcliffe, Rhineyville, Shepherdsville, Lebanon Junction, Taylorsville, up towards Bardstown, and further to the east, possibly Shelbyville, right on that 2 inch line, maybe, Frankfort, and then pushing east out towards Lexington. But remember, if that rain snow line, instead of it being right here, if it winds up way down here, then this band of heavier snow will be down here. It'll be further south, down towards Hart County, Greene, Taylor, Marion County. On the other hand, if that rain snow line gets way up here closer to Louisville, then that 2 to 4 inch zone would be further north. Okay? So just a 20 or 30 mile difference is going to have a big say in how, excuse me, in how this is all going to play out. But this is where things stand right now. We feel pretty confident that there's going to be a fairly broad zone of 1 to 2 inches of snow, basically along Interstate 64, Louisville included. Louisville, Corydon, Jeffersonville, LaGrange, Shelbyville, so on and so forth. But there could be a heavier band around 2 to possibly 4 inches of snow near where that rain snow band sets up, near where that border is. And right now, we believe that chance for the higher, heavier band of snow would be between Louisville and E-Town. That makes sense? Let me know what questions you have. We got a few more minutes before we wrap this up, okay? And then I'll get to the 10-day as well. Now, let's see. Braden's asking about the chance for snow squalls. In this setup, you don't necessarily get snow squalls. You just get heavier snowfall rates. So snow squalls are these little lines of extreme snow that only last 5 or 10 minutes. This kind of a setup, you would get just heavier snow just coming down in buckets consistently instead of just 5 or 10 minutes. So not necessarily much of a snow squall potential, but if we have that heavier band develop, we can get a quick couple of inches of snow within a few hours. So there's that. Let's see. Tammy Joe up watching us in Owen County. Appreciate you. All snow up there? Yes, it looks like all snow at this point. Up in Owen County, maybe around 1, maybe closer to 2 inches of snow, but I think it'll be more closer to 1 inch in Owen County. John says, so what you're saying is work is canceled Tuesday for that dark blue area, right? You guys know the drill. We don't make the calls on work or school, but I would definitely, if you live anywhere in this snow zone, not just the 2 to 4 zone, but the 1 to 2 inch zone as well, start thinking about some backup plans just in case for childcare or things like that. Will the roads be impassable? No, this is not a huge winter storm, but I really think Tuesday morning especially could be a little dicey with some slick travel. Let's see here. Candace says, thank you. Of course, that's what we're here for. And again, I would love to answer your all's questions town by town, but realize there's hundreds, if not thousands, of little towns in wave country. So we would be here all night doing that. Shonda asked, the problem later in the evening on Tuesday might be ice once the temperatures drop. Yes, not necessarily ice falling from the sky, but all that residual moisture, if we've had any melting taking place, then we could have a black ice concern Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. And we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. Let's see here. Looks like they're already done with the halftime show. Doggone it. We'll keep going here a few more minutes. Storm Chaser Jason, Paley looking more like a dusting. Less than an inch. Less than an inch up in Paoli, Jason. Definitely not a blockbuster snowstorm, but maybe enough to give you a little coating up there in Orange County. Anita asked, do you think the treated roads will be better? I do. And the reason why, excuse me, is because when the temperatures are near freezing, any of those treatments work pretty well. Once you get down into like the mid-20s, you have problems. But with most of the day hovering near freezing or maybe just above it, I think the treated roads would honestly just stay wet. It would be those side roads that could get really dicey that haven't had any treatment. So, yes, I do think treated roads will make out okay here. I think they'll be decent for the most part. It's just Tuesday morning when the snow is actually falling that makes me a little concerned. Once the snow rates go down or we see that snow go to rain, then we will likely see a good bit of melting take place with those temperatures hovering near 32. Let's see. Andrea says, you're the best. Keep up the good work. You're very kind, Andrea. I appreciate it. Let's see. Todd says, just called the boss. Told the boss that Carson said I can't get out of my driveway Tuesday morning. Okay. I like your thinking, Todd. I like it. Blame it on us if you can get out of your driveway and you still don't want to go to work. You can blame it on me. It's fine. Let's see here. Eli's asking, is this all going to melt quickly? I do think it will melt quickly. So, if you get that 2 to 4 inches of snow, soak it up because, like I said, once the snow rates go down, it'll melt fairly quickly. And let's not forget, as we go to the 10-day, and then we'll wrap things up, we've got several more waves of rain on the way once we get past Tuesday. And I'm talking all rain for the most part. 10-day is loading up here. There it is. So just as soon as we get the Tuesday system out of here, we've got more rain coming in Wednesday afternoon mainly. And that could cause some ponding. You know, guys, the ground's waterlogged. It cannot take any more water. So you get this slug of rain and snow coming in Tuesday. There's more water in the ground. Then we have another round of rain Wednesday that could end as a brief wintry mix Thursday morning. I'm not overly concerned about that, but it's something we'll watch. Valentine's Day looks good. So if you got plans Friday night or any part of the day Friday, should be fine. But we get to next weekend and there's more rain, of course. I'm a little worried about Saturday. Not for severe weather, but the models are suggesting that Saturday's rain could be heavy, especially in areas that do not need any more rain, southern Kentucky in particular. And there's a better chance next weekend that Saturday rain could end as snow on Sunday. We don't have an alert day in place yet for next weekend. I got a feeling as we get closer and we look over more data, we're going to have to flag one or both days next weekend for either a heavy rain potential or maybe some light snow on Sunday of next weekend. When all is said and done, look at how much rain some parts of the country are going to be seeing. This is through next Sunday, so the next 7 days. I'm quite concerned about flooding in southern Kentucky. You see that area right here I'm circling? That is where we could see maybe 4 to 6 inches of rain with Tuesday system, Wednesday system, and Saturday system. And this also factors in moisture from any snow that we see Tuesday and any snow that we see next Sunday. It's even worse further to the south. You see those red colors down in Alabama and Georgia and Tennessee. That's 6 to maybe 10 inches of rain down there. Thank goodness we don't have to worry about that. This could be a flooding concern that we'll have to watch, especially by next weekend when that heavy rain moves in. So, all right. Any last minute questions before we go? Looks like the second half's about to get going. So I'll let you guys get back to enjoying the game. Again, stay with us over the next 36 hours as we continue to try to nail down where that heaviest band of snow might wind up. Again, Tuesday's not going to be a huge winter storm, but the timing is not good, especially for when we'll see the most snow. So that's why we'll keep the alert day in place. Could be some tricky travel, especially along Interstate 64 and down towards the Kentucky parkways. All right, guys, that's going to do it for now. Looks like the second half is about to get going. Can the Chiefs make a comeback? We will see. We will be on time for our newscast tonight at 11 on the TV side of things. So we hope you'll tune in then after the game. We'll give you an update on where the forecast stands, and we will go from there. Brian will be back tomorrow. He is back from his vacay, and he'll have Snow Talk tomorrow morning here on Wave Weather Now as well. Enjoy the second half of the game. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have a great rest of the week. Goodbye.